Good evening, everyone. I am Mark, your fat friend,
And I'm James, your black friend.
and this is the Fat and Black Connection.
Yes, it is, where we talk about anything and everything. Well, as long as it's interesting to us, of course.
Yes, indeed. And as always, this is a live interactive broadcast. Today is March 1st, 2022. It is
March.
Oh my
June
God.
1st.
It is June 1st, 2022. Wow, I just took a little time trip there. Sorry.
Yeah.
It is 8:01 in the Pacific,
Yes.
PM.
PM.
Man, a lot has happened in the last week that we've got to talk about tonight.
Yep.
I keep hoping we're going to get back to talking about the cruise and talking about some more shore excursions, but that ain't happening tonight.
Nah, not tonight.
So,
Hey, real quick.
yes,
What you drinking tonight?
I'm still drinking some Broken Skull IPA, Steve Austin's.
All right. Well, I got some 805. So cheers to you, my friend.
L'chaim.
All right. Well,
so I gotta start. I gotta start off, man.
Go ahead.
I gotta tell you. So this last weekend, Memorial Day weekend, right?
Mhm.
A time for us to reflect on those who died for our freedom.
Right.
Definitely want to give some respect to those who have served and given the last greatest measure for us. And to those who have served and are still with us, thank you for all that you do and have done for us.
Absolutely.
Because I haven't served, and so I it's just not something I was ever willing to do.
No, I work with a couple people that served, and so, but every time, we get a lot of military people through the airport. So anytime they hand me that military ID and I see that they served or whatever, or they're still serving, I always make sure I say, thank you for your service. So.
Yeah, and we've got Tyrus checking in, drinking some water because he's driving a bus.
Of course.
And he does ask if I have had the opportunity to watch The Batman yet, and I will say yes, and we will talk about that in just a couple moments.
All right.
But before we talk about that, I got to talk about an issue for me, and that is that I live in a new community.
Mhm.
It's a beautiful community here in South Reno. And
Very nice.
Yeah. And we have a beautiful clubhouse with an
Mhm.
amazing swimming pool. And
That clubhouse is dope.
now, last week, the swimming pool was supposed to open on the 25th. It blows my mind. I am beyond frustrated that it didn't open, wasn't supposed to open till then, because the weather's been nice since early April.
Okay.
And it closes very early. It closed in October when really it could have stayed open at least till November.
It's heated, right?
It's a heated pool, yeah,
Yeah.
and it's got a jacuzzi or hot tub. So it blows my mind. And so the days leading up to the pool opening, I was excited. My kid was excited. Day of, my wife and kid come home from work and daycare. I'm there. I'm already in my swim trunks. We get ready. The wife and kid get changed, get ready to go. We walk over to the pool, and there's a note on the door that says, "Unfortunately, we couldn't open because of not being able to get permits or something."
What?
So then we finally find out the next day that there was an issue with the county, Washoe County, and their ability to provide us with the permits, because they're claiming that, because of the size of our pool, we're supposed to have lifeguards, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? I work for the state, and I know the NRS's, Nevada revised statutes. I know the laws here in our state. I researched our county as well as the city of Reno, and there was nothing that our community falls under where we should have had a requirement to have lifeguards. So very frustrated, needless to say. And tonight, just before I came over here to do this show, I've been at a town hall meeting with the board,
Hmm.
voicing, not just me. There was probably 50 plus people there voicing their concerns.
Wait, from the community?
Yes, yes.
Ooh, wow.
Which is about actually there's 500 and I think 508 home sites. So you think about that, clearly 50 people is not even a huge swath, but 10
Right.
10 person, if one person is there out of every 10 homes, that's
Yeah.
not a bad representation. It's not great.
No.
I would love to see more people want to be involved. But I will say the board took a beating, and there was a lot of people that voiced a lot of frustration. I don't think a lot of the people in that meeting understand those kind of how a board works. There was one person who said that uh, our association that we hire to kind of manage some of the collection of funds and everything, that they're the ones in charge and the board works for them, and it's no, the board hired them to maintain these things.
Yeah.
So clearly there's somewhat of a disconnect for people not understanding how it works. And so obviously communication probably needs to be better in that regard. But ultimately what it's come down to is that our community is being unduly treated in a discriminatory manner when there are other communities even nearby that have a similar or almost identical pool, but they're not required to fall under the same regulations that they're claiming we need to fall under. So,
Oh,
uh,
makes sense.
so I will be taking it upon myself to follow up with our local county officials to understand, especially in this election year, why they're deeming it now is the time to treat us poorly. So I am extremely frustrated. So if I'm not my normal chipper self, I do apologize.
That's just weird. It's really weird.
Yeah,
Like, because I mean, they have the sign that says no lifeguard on duty. So I don't understand why a lifeguard would need to be on duty in like a pool that's only like what, less than 5 feet.
well, and additionally, why was a permit issued last year with the same exact situation?
Yeah.
Nothing's
Um,
changed.
No. And so I mean, it shouldn't be like you have to renew every year. It's permanent. It's good. Or I mean, I know some permits have to be renewed every year.
Well, and that's more for like making sure that from a health standpoint, the
Right.
chemicals are correct.
Chemicals
Blah,
and
blah, blah.
everything, all that. But I mean, other than that, I mean, if that's cool, then open the pool.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I mean,
So
you're not supposed. I mean, kids aren't supposed to be there without adult supervision anyway. So, I mean, at that point, I don't know. We truly can't. I don't know. That makes no sense to me, man.
yeah, I appreciate the board people because I have, and as have you, served on as voluntary board members for different either community groups, community theaters, or different things. And so I absolutely understand that it is pretty much a thankless job,
Yeah,
and you get more complaints than you do appreciation.
true.
Uh, but that doesn't excuse lack of communication in my book. And I get that things slip through, but I think one of the biggest problems that my community is facing right now is that the board is not choosing one main platform as its way of communicating, whether that's email, whether that's whatever means you want to do, a Facebook group or whatever.
Yeah.
Pick one, and this is going to be our main one, and tell everyone this is where you go. That's it.
Oh, are they? Oh, you can go here. You can go here. You can
Well,
go
there's some
here.
information that makes it to a Facebook page. There's some information that comes out in emails. There's other information that goes on to this other app.
Nah, they need to. Yeah. You're right. You're very much right. They need. This is where we're gonna put it. You know, this is our. This is we have a website where all the information will be, or but we will also, like this is where we will have the information. We will also be posting the information on our Facebook page, on the Facebook page. So you can go to the website or the Facebook page. Both of them have the same exact information. That you can have two places. I have no problem with that. and
Sure.
you have places
But
that
there should
can.
be one that is the most.
Yeah, exactly.
This is
Like, so
where everything will
the
go.
like I
I mean,
said, like, have a website, and that is where everything goes. We will also put it here, not like,
but this is
oh,
the official, and this
right.
is ancillary.
Right. So, and if there's, and if, like, for some reason you can't send something through, you can always, ask a question on the Facebook page, and we make sure to check it. Something, I don't know,
Yeah,
but whatever it is, that needs, yeah, that communication, especially within a community that's new. Yeah, that shouldn't have happened. I mean, because the clubhouse is brand spanking new.
pretty much. Yeah, and Tyra says it's all a money game. My county just surprised me with county homeowners taxes. Um, I mean, that to me is not uncommon for a county to have its own homeowners dues or taxes, if you will. But those should have been clearly stated by,
Yeah.
especially when you, Tyrus, bought a new home. That should have been clear in all of your documents that, hey, there is, you know, a Melrose, or there is, county taxes or whatever. And yeah, if there wasn't, that's unfortunate, but it is what it is sometimes. Um, if some of your neighbors are having the same issue and they're like, this doesn't seem legit, go to your HOA, and usually the HOA has a lawyer on retainer, and have them look into it.
Yeah.
That would be my suggestion there. But yeah, here endeth my soapbox on that. I had to get that out because I literally just came back from that. The meeting wasn't even over. I dipped just to get here to do this with you. So
My man.
yeah.
No, that's very irritating, especially when the pool is right there. You can look at it. You can see it from your house, and you can't use it. That'd be
Yeah.
irritating.
Yeah, I will say it is open now.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So it is open now. We have to have monitors go and
Monitors.
yes, they
What the
have
hell
to
does that
go.
even mean?
Yeah, they have to go over to the pool once every 3 hours and do a head count to confirm that we're not at 60% of capacity.
What?
Now, let me ask you this. Would you want to get into a swimming pool the size of mine if it had 150 people in it?
Hell no.
So, yeah, it just seems
That's
unrealistic.
just too many people.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. And don't get me wrong, that 150 number includes people on the deck as well, not just in the pool.
Oh,
But
okay.
I
But
mean,
still,
that's
I mean, the
all.
deck is big, but that's
A grip of people.
That's standing room. There's not even enough chairs out there.
Yeah, that's one of those things where when they make a max occupancy based off square footage rather than realism.
Yeah, no, that's that's stupid.
So, all right, I apologize for taking us off the rails there for a moment, but that was
Nah.
important to me, and I will follow up with y'all and let you know how that's proceeding. But my goal is to get it to where it's the same as it was last year, where the pool is open from. Oh, and we're only open from 8 to 8. So I can't go swimming early in the morning before I go to work like I want to do. I can't go swimming late at night like after we finish this like I used to do. So yeah,
Yeah, that's only if you got snitches, or they
that
lock it.
I mean, if somebody from the county comes over,
Oh, I see somebody in there.
they'll shut it down and pull the permit.
Never mind.
So I wouldn't want to ruin it for everyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Though.
I do got to tell you really quickly though. One story that came up in the meeting didn't have to do with the pool. Evidently, we've got the gym in my clubhouse, right?
Right.
Evidently, one of my neighbors, someone in this community, decided to take their dog into the gym with them while they worked out.
What? Bro,
Hold on, it gets worse. Let their dog take a steaming deuce on the gym floor and left it.
Bruh, oh my. See,
so now they had to make a rule that there's no pets allowed in there. Actually, it's not pets, it's animals. No animals in there, period.
That's just that shouldn't even have to be a rule. I
Right?
mean, look, you're going to the gym. You don't need to bring your dog everywhere. That's a whole nother issue. I think
Yeah.
I didn't tell you. Did I tell you the story about a couple months ago when I was at the Walmart working when I was still with Pepsi? This dude came in with his dog. His dog was old. The old man was old, and the dog literally just sat there and took a piss on the floor. And the dude didn't do any. He the dog took a piss on the floor, and then the man walked away, and I was like, yo, bruh, you gonna clean? And he just walked away. And so I went and told one of the employees, and I was just like, yo, this old man just let his dog take a piss on the floor and didn't even stop. I was like, that's just, come on, man.
Hey, at least they didn't try to hand you a mop to take care of it.
Oh no, because I'd have been like, nah, I don't work here. But at the same time, I was just like, bruh, come on. If your animal cannot doesn't know like to go outside or whatever, it doesn't need to come everywhere with you. If you can't leave your animal at home for just like an hour or two while you go to the gym, and it's right in the community, it's not that far. Come on, man.
Yeah. You
stupid.
Speaking of stupid, let's talk about the hot topic of the day, shall we?
Stupid.
Johnny Depp, Amber Heard trial. Finally
Look at that
coming.
Smirk. That smirk on that man's face right now. I don't know.
So that was not from today. That was not from today. Neither of those pictures are from today.
Oh, all right.
So the picture on the left, I think, was Johnny Depp walking out on one of the last days, because I think he felt good about where he was leaving it. And this was on the right, Amber Heard testifying on the stand.
Yeah, so pitiful.
And I got to tell you, man, it was. Did you happen to catch when they broadcasted the announcement and everything?
No, I saw it. I just didn't care because I was like, is this? I thought it should have been over by now. But
so I'll tell you this. Okay, I haven't watched this entire trial. I've mostly watched some of the highlights here and there, just because it's so absurd.
It's asinine. It's absolutely asinine.
And the fact that our society has been so caught up in this is even more asinine. Like, there are so many more important issues going on in our society today.
Yeah.
But this is the thing that so many people. I have coworkers in my office who literally all day have been sitting there while supposedly doing their work, somehow watching this for the entirety of their shift.
Oh my God.
But so here's the breakdown, right? So Johnny Depp sued his ex-wife, Amber Heard, for defamation. He said that she made comments, publicized comments about him that were not true in print. So he sued her for $50 million, which she countersued him for $100 million, saying that he or his agents did similar, made inappropriate comments or things that are preventing her ability to have a livelihood and be successful.
That's because you suck at, you're not a very good actress.
So the
judge,
Brian checking in. How are you, my friend? Our hot damn. Back from the DLR, I'm sure. So the judgment came down today. The jury made their decision, and are you still at Disneyland? Evidently.
And why haven't I seen no videos, bro?
Yeah, I asked you to give us reports on what was going on, and I saw nothing. I had to do research myself, so thank you for nothing. So not going to read that one.
Yeah.
So ultimately, the jury decided they came to their decisions, and they were all brought into the courtroom to read the verdict. And the judge is like, "Hey, you guys didn't do this part. I got to send you back to go."
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah,
so come on, bro.
Like... So they all get wrangled into the courtroom, and they haven't actually finalized what they needed to do.
Hey, you forgot
now, luckily, it didn't take long. It didn't take long, right?
You know, that should be one of those things. Before they can leave, they have to check all the boxes to make sure they got everything.
That's what you would think, right?
Yeah, there an asterisk next to everything that needs to be answered, and if it's not answered, you can't click OK or submit. So therefore, you have to make sure you get it all before you leave.
Yeah.
Oh,
so they come back in, and after a couple more minutes of them going back to the deliberation room to figure out what they needed to figure out, they come back, And on 3 points that Johnny Depp was suing Amber Heard for, the jury found in favor of Johnny Depp on all 3.
Right.
On the countersuit, there were 2 or 3 points from Amber Heard's side that they were countersuing for the $100 million. They did find in her favor on 1 count.
Okay.
So again, Johnny Depp sued for $50 million.
Right.
The jury awarded him $10 million.
Oh, it saw something. I thought it said 15.
Hold on, let me
Oh,
finish.
okay.
They out of that 50 that he sued for, they gave him 10 plus
Okay.
another 5, a compensatory,
Oh.
meaning how this has negatively impacted him personally, blah blah blah.
Right. He'll be fine after this.
So hold on. On Amber Heard's side, she sued for $100 million.
Right.
They gave her $2 million. So the net there, right, is you would think that she owes him $13 million. Now, bear in mind, when they got divorced, he paid her $7 million.
Yeah.
So, okay, when you think about that, you do some rough math. Okay, so he's basically coming out ahead, you would think, around $5-6 million, right?
Right.
Well, no. The jury, again, did not do their job properly
Whoa, what?
Because in the state of Virginia, the maximum they are allowed to award in compensatory is $325,000. So Johnny Depp is winning $10,325,000. Amber Heard is getting $2 million.
Okay.
And so then you do the offset. So he's going to get $8,235,000. So he comes out ahead of after the divorce and after all of this fallout. He
Like
comes out ahead.
$1,000.
No, $1 million. 1.3.
Oh, sorry. Because you said he paid her 7.
He paid her $7 million, and he's going to get from this 8.325 million.
Okay.
So he comes out
okay.
$1.3 million.
Right. Okay. Never mind. I'm sorry.
Now Lord only knows how much he's paying his lawyers. So he may have only broken even. I don't think he cares. I think he just wanted
to be done with this.
He wanted to be done, but he also wanted to clear his name publicly, which I think even if he hadn't won today, even if the jury had awarded him no money, I think in the court of public opinion, which is usually what really matters, especially to Hollywood.
Yeah, he's fine.
He won, hands down.
Oh yeah, and apparently right after the trial, she was all upset, talking about like, I can't believe that I'm not happy with the verdict, and like obviously they didn't take into consideration the stuff that helped us win in the UK, and I was just like, go home.
Yeah. So he, I will say that it was hilarious because he was not there today. He's in the UK, but she was in the courtroom, and watching her face as the verdicts are being read, going from normal, like, okay, I think this is probably going to go my way, and as they're reading the different counts, and they're basically siding with Johnny Depp's case, you could just see her face go from normal to morose, like almost to the point of hiding her face. Like even when they awarded her the $2 million, that didn't even.
Yeah, take your money, shut up, go.
She's
home.
not getting any money. She's losing.
Oh yeah, she's actually losing money.
Now here's the other funny thing, right? She had pledged $7 million to donate to a couple of different charities, which she never gave. She says, well, yes, I gave that money because I pledged it. No, you never gave the money.
A pledge doesn't mean anything until the money's actually there.
Right. So now that $7 million that she pledged, she actually legally, she won't be able to give it up because she's got to pay Johnny first.
Mm-hmm.
So now these two charities that she pledges money to, they're out. They're SOL, and they might have earmarked that money already and maybe spent some of it, expecting it to come in.
Yeah,
that's who really suffers here.
I hope they didn't, but I mean,
I would love to see Johnny Depp turn around and give the money.
Give them the money.
Yes, that would be the icing.
Yeah,
man, that would be the icing.
Oh, that's a prison shift, bro. That's a prison shift.
Yes,
Johnny Depp, I know you probably, if you happen to listen to this show, I know you probably don't, but if you do, give that money because that would be hilarious.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, that would be sweet, sweet irony.
Yes.
Oh, I
All
know
right.
my ex-wife told you that I was going to she was going to give you this money, but unfortunately she has to pay me, so therefore I shall give you this money. Oh man.
Yeah. So it was nice ending to a situation that shouldn't have gotten as much publicity as it has, but
No. I know there was multiple YouTube channels that were dedicated to this case, and I was just like, why?
I am hoping that people can get back to focusing on what's important in our society. The fact that there
Yeah.
were a dozen mass shootings over Memorial Day weekend,
Yeah.
there was another one today, I believe, in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's focus on the important things in life in our society. Let's not worry about two Hollywood people that
Who
have
don't
more
give a
money than.
then they know what to do. Well, she's not going to have as much money hopefully. Good luck, Amber Heard, trying to get another job after you tried to destroy your ex-husband, even though, you know,
Don't
I'm
cross Jack Sparrow.
now, mind you, I'm not a huge, I like Johnny Depp, but pretty much everything after Pirates of the Caribbean, it just seems like Jack Sparrow doing whatever role. So, I mean, like,
That's what happens with iconic roles, right? It's
give me
hard
Jude Law
to.
back. Where's Jude Law? Jude Law
We
used
will
to be in
talk about
everything.
him. We will talk about him actually later in this episode.
Give me Jude Law back when he was in everything. Anyways, let's
All right,
continue.
let's move on. Let's talk about something near and dear to your heart and your brother's heart, for that matter. The NBA
Ugh.
Finals starting tomorrow night. Your Miami Heat didn't quite make the cut.
No, no, it's okay. Double
So,
away now.
so in the finals are neither team that we either of us were going for. Um,
Right. I mean, like I said the Warriors gonna make it to the finals.
no, you didn't originally.
No,
To
I
be
did
clear,
say. I said, oh no, that's right. I said the Suns, and then I was
yes.
like, and then after the Suns, the way the Suns were playing, I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm going with the Warriors.
So my
That's right.
point being that none of our original picks.
Original picks, right? Right.
So here we are. ESPN has come out with their basketball power index, and somehow they've
Lies.
arrived at this place where they're saying the Celtics have an 86% chance to win the championship.
Absolute lies.
I have no idea how they arrived at that amount.
I don't know how they came to that either. That makes zero sense. The Celtics have three shooters, maybe.
Here's
The
here's
the
an
Warriors
important fact.
bench, the Warriors bench is a bunch of shooters. Like, come on, bro.
Here's an important fact to know. On the Boston Celtics, total combined number of games in the finals played by all players on the Celtics, 0. On the Warriors, total number of games played in the finals combined, 126.
Come on, bro. Come on. How do you even come up with that number, ESPN? Stephen A. Stephen A. You better be beside yourself right now, because whoever came up with those numbers, they're ridiculous. Yes, they're talking about Boston's defense. Boston's defense. Look, Boston's defense is going to be tired as hell come tomorrow night.
Well, and playing against this team. This team is
this
fast.
team is ridiculous.
The Warriors have been one of the fastest paced teams for over a decade. That's how they've rolled. So the fact that, and you can have great defense and you can shut them down. Maybe they even only score 30% of the time.
Right.
But them scoring 30% of the time, and they've got D as well.
Yeah. It's I don't who came up with these numbers? Please, somebody explain to me who came up with these numbers. Like, I know and on other sites, the Warriors are what was it? minus 10 or minus 106 or something like that. Like, it was like, huh? Like, you come on. Come on.
I am going on record right now and saying Warriors win in 6.
I was thinking in 5. They're gonna give Boston one game.
I want to believe that, but I think Boston takes 2. I think they might even take both at home. I think the Warriors take the opening 2. I think the Celtics take the next 2, and I think the Warriors win 2 in a row.
All
So
right.
I think the Warriors take it in 6. Um, yeah, if this stat had come out and it was something like 54-46, I could have much
Yeah.
easily I could have swallowed it. I
This
still wouldn't agree with it. This is just
this
ludicrous.
absolute again, asinine. Who's coming up with this stuff?
I don't know, man. ESPN.
What? 86% say the Boston's gonna win the finals. Get out of here. Those guys haven't even. Those guys have choked every time they got even anywhere near the finals. This is like, unless this
Since
turns
the
out to
80s.
if this turns out to be a Raptors situation, then okay, then I will apologize. But until that point, no, absolutely not. You have not only our our Steph, Draymond, Poole, and Curry, they're all gonna play. Plus, Iguodala, Gary Payton, Jr., and I can't remember the other dude. They're questionable for game 1. So if those guys come back, night.
And the Warriors have had a lot of time to rest.
Yeah, and they actually took 2 days off. After their series was done, they took 2 days off waiting for this series to finish up, and they got back into practice. So the fact of the matter is they have actually rested and got back to work. That's something that you can do
when you're that dominant.
Come on, man. Come on.
All right, we got to take a moment. We got to give big ups, a happy birthday to a good friend of the show, Dippy Dog, also known as Goofy, turned 90 today.
Man, still looking good.
Yeah, man,
way good.
Looking better than he did back in 1932.
Yeah, this Goofy, as long as they didn't show me that Goofy from like 2 years ago where he looked like a crackhead, I'm good. But he looked Dippy looked better than Goofy did back then. Looked better than Goofy did like 2 years ago. But then I guess Goofy went in for that animation, facial reconstruction. So he's now looking young and spry, doing that single dad life.
Fair enough. Well, happy birthday, Goofy, today, 90 years old.
Man.
Let's keep it in line with some Disney stuff for a little bit.
Right.
There was a lot of Walt Disney Company stuff coming out. You got to remember this. You got to remember Walt Disney Company owns Disney, owns Marvel, owns ESPN, owns
Fox,
Star Wars,
Fox Entertainment section at least.
Mm-hmm. So there was a lot of stuff that dropped this last week, and it was Star Wars Celebration down in Anaheim. There was, oh man, so much going on, so many huge major announcements. But before we get into some of the Star Wars stuff, we got to start with this one. Trailer dropped for live action Pinocchio.
I understand it's going to be on Disney Plus. Is it also going to be, are they going to be streaming and in theaters? Because this is something that I actually want to see in a theater, honestly.
My understanding is this is a straight to Disney Plus. They might do a release in theaters, but
I sure hope they do, because honestly, like, I'd want to see that on the big screen. I mean, I saw not the original, of course, like one of the re-releases of Pinocchio I was able to see on a big screen back in the day. But, I would really like to see this on a big screen.
Yeah, no. So I want to get your opinion, because this is the Fat and Black connection.
Right.
I want to get your opinion. There has been so much.
Are people tripping about the Blue Fairy right now?
That's what we're going to talk about, because if you haven't watched the trailer, spoiler, the Blue Fairy is actually being played by a Black woman. And there is so much vitriol and hate that has come out in a couple of days. Now, hold on. But
okay,
before we
go ahead.
I don't care
that
it's a Black person or a white person. It doesn't matter to me at the end of the day. I get that Pinocchio takes place in a traditionally white community. That's where it existed. But at
Yeah.
the end of the day, who cares whether it's a black actor? Now, as long as they tell me that that was the best person that auditioned for the part, I don't care. If you tell me you cast that person purely so that you
Yeah,
could,
just because you needed to hit a quota or something, then no. But absolutely, I mean, the blue fairy's in there like what, twice in the movie?
yeah, for like a hot minute,
Oh no, no,
two
I'm
or three
sorry, three
times.
times. Yeah, like three times in the movie. Once to give Pinocchio life. The second time she shrinks his nose after lying at Stromboli's.
Tells him I can't help you again.
Yeah, I can't help you again. And then the last time I don't
Turns
even
him
think
into a real boy.
I don't even think she actually shows up. I think she just makes him a real boy because at the end of the film,
Yeah.
I don't even think she shows up.
Now, again, remember, the live action could be somewhat different. Maybe she has
Right.
a much more important or pivotal role. But regardless of role size, why do you care? Well, not you, but why do people care whether she's white, black, Indian, Hispanic,
This is
Asian?
because this is the same bull that they tried to pull when they said that they decided to cast Ariel as a black girl or black woman in this case because she's not actually a girl anymore. But like it's get over it, people. Things change. There's a different dynamic in the world. Like deal with it. It's not that big of a deal. They're not there for very long.
Now, let me ask you a question just because I want to play devil's advocate. Not that I necessarily personally feel this way, but I think it's necessary that we have this conversation. It's
Okay,
important that we have this conversation. How would you feel about them making a live action Tiana with a Hispanic girl?
true.
I asked a question. I want an answer.
No, that would be a little upsetting. Not fully upsetting. It'd be a little upsetting due to the fact that that was that was like the first black princess. That's the only reason that I would be a little upset by that. Like I wouldn't be. I mean, yeah, she's a person of color, so I could maybe roll with it. But if you were to cast that, if you were to make a live action version of Princess and the Frog, and you didn't cast Tiana as black, which I think is kind of important uh for where it is, um I think that's where I would be a little upset. But um I ain't gonna lie, I'd still see it. But
Okay, let's push this a little bit further. What if they did a live action Pixar Soul with an Asian lead? You get where I'm going with this, absolutely, right?
I see what you're
So
saying. I see what you're
all I'm trying to
saying.
say is that you can't make Merida a an Asian redheaded woman. Like I
No,
guess you could, right? But
no, I mean, but I think
there
like
are some
there's
characters out
certain
there.
characters that have to be that are very like if you stray away, there's certain characters, especially the ones that are more recent, um, that I think that are more recent that uh I think you'd almost have to cast. But I mean, that's also you're looking at when that film was made, you got to look at what kind of time that was where there weren't a whole lot of other races that were, in films. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the whole thing. So
Wait, which part are you talking about?
I'm sorry, with Pinocchio, I'm talking about with
Oh,
Pinocchio, like when it was originally made.
hmm.
There wasn't a whole lot of black actors. There weren't a whole lot of Hispanic actors. Weren't Asian actors. There weren't a whole lot of other uh, people, but white people in films. So, but I think a lot of times with now, like if you were to make a live action, Encanto, for example, I think that movie would have to be Hispanic. If it wasn't, I mean, or people of Latinx origin, I would believe they would have to cast that with whatchamacallit, what you were talking about, Princess and the Frog, I think you have to have, definitely you have to have some white, you have to have some black. You can maybe, you can mess with it a little bit, but I think with what you're doing is making sure that the people, just make sure you're casting the correct people for the role. Like that, like that's all that really
What do you
matters to
mean
me.
by correct? I don't like.
No, I'm saying like the correct people for the role, like the people that, like, sorry, not correct. I should say the best people for that role. If you had when you hold an auditions and you have, X number of people, X number of people, X number of people, and you make sure and you bring them in, and you go through all the tapes afterwards and say, you know what? I want to call this person back. I want to call this person back. I want to call this person back. And then when they come in, they do their sides, they do their readings, whatever they need to do. Okay, I like this person. We've done this. We've done casting,
Mhm.
and that we had to make some decisions based on, there was I mean, when we were doing West Side, we had a serious conversation because we thought one of the girls who was the best, the problem is that she was just too young.
Yeah. It had nothing to do with anything other than the content of West Side Story and the way that we were doing it,
Right.
which was going to be not happy dancy. It was going to be bringing on that full aggression, that vitriol and hatred between the two gangs to really highlight what the story is supposed to really be about.
Right. She was
She
just
was, I think,
too
15,
Yeah,
14.
she was super young. She was very talented, very talented. And we went back and forth with it for a while. We went back and forth. I mean, I think we finally came to a decision maybe like 30 minutes later. I think we almost set it aside and came back to it later. But it was one of those things where it wasn't about her. It was about her age. And that was the only thing. So basically what I'm saying is that if you call these people back and you decided, okay, you know what? We called these people back. They came back and they did their auditions, and you said, you know what? This person is the best that we have right now. I'm okay with that. If you said, oh, you know what? We want to go with this person because they're black, or we want to go with this person because they're Asian. You did that? Nah, I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that. But I understand people are upset. I get it. But yeah, the blue
So
fairy is
Brian
not
calls out the fact that the blue fairy is not a human; it's a fairy,
right.
and it's not telling the story of one's race.
Right.
Brian says Tiana is a black story. I don't know if I necessarily 100% agree with that statement, but uh, I think that Tiana could be many other races, and the story still be told the way that it was.
Yeah. I mean, no, I agree with you. I'm not going to say maybe. No, I agree with you. Yeah, no, but that version that they put in theaters, that was, I think, a black story. But that's just me. But like overall, like I said, I don't like. I saw it. When I saw it, I was like, oh, okay. Like it did. I'm not gonna lie, it did throw me a second because I was kind of expecting, if they showed the blue fairy, I was expecting it to be that, the white lady with the blonde hair and from the film.
I'll tell you truthfully, the thing that didn't like about the new blue fairy is that she's bald.
That was a little weird.
That I think I could, and it doesn't matter to me what color hair, but the fact that it's a bald blue fairy, I think, is what threw me off.
You know what? Maybe that's what it was.
Whether that was white, whether that was Asian, the fact that it's a bald blue fairy, I think, was just like, oh, that's a little bit much.
Maybe that's what threw me even more, because I was like, oh, blue fairy, and then I was like, oh, she's black. Oh, she's bald. Okay, I guess. Like I was like, there was a couple different things that came to me at that one point. But listen, I don't know how you can hate on this film because Tom Hanks is in it, and Tom Hanks might be the greatest thing we ever had.
All right. Also, a Robert Zemeckis film, so
right. And listen, if you can hate on Robert Zemeckis and Tom Hanks, something's wrong with you, man.
Yeah, I will say I don't like the look of Jiminy Cricket in the trailer.
You know what? He looked like at the
It almost looked like an Ants version.
when I first saw it, he almost looked wooden. Like Jiminy Cricket almost looked wooden. When like the first little image that we see of him, and then the other image I saw of him, I was like, okay, that's a little bit better. But that first real quick image of him, he looked almost wooden to me.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. I fully intend to watch it.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, I guarantee you, all those people that are moaning and complaining about it,
they're
they'll
still going to watch it.
Yeah.
Yep. So let's move on. Another huge image that came out this week. Our first glimpse at Indiana Jones Part 5.
Listen, as long as it's better than Crystal Skull, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, not a whole lot to see here. A lot of the conversations have been, are they going to bring back like Shia LaBeouf? And
I think that
certainly
dude's
hope not.
He's pretty much done. I can guarantee you that he's going to be pretty much done. If they bring in Indy's kid, it'll probably end up being some child he never even knew he had.
Yeah, the only thing that needs to happen here, and I really hate to say this, but they need to kill him off.
He's wanted. I mean, actually, he's actually finally got his wish, killing off one of his characters when Han Solo died, and was it Force Awakens?
Yeah, spoiler.
Yeah. Bro, if you haven't seen Force Awakens by now, bro, like, come
now,
on.
To be fair, though, he did make a reemergence in Episode 9. Spoiler.
Was it the?
And considering he wasn't force sensitive, that was interesting.
Yeah. So, whatever. But I'm saying, like, I think it was one of those things where, yeah, I don't know. Like, I like Indiana Jones. I like the original trilogy. Crystal Skull was a disappointment. I still own it, but it was still a disappointment. So I'm really hoping this kind of makes up for that film.
Yeah, I think they don't have to, as they've done with the other Indiana Jones films, they don't have to address Crystal Skull, and I hope they don't.
They don't. Because
please
like,
don't.
You don't hear any, because like in the other films, you don't hear anything about the Ark. You don't hear anything about when Crystal Skull came out. You don't hear anything about the Last Crusade. You don't hear anything about Temple of Doom.
Well, there's a reference to his dad and him passing.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But other than that, yeah, there's really no reference. I mean, yeah, we get the reemergence of characters from the past, but yeah, I really hope that.
Listen, I just want I need Short Round back, at least for a cameo.
Really? That's what you want?
Yeah, I want Short Round for a cameo. Because I think that was the same dude that was Hero in Heroes. But from what I
don't think that's right.
I mean, listen, I could be very wrong.
James, I need you to erase Asian hate, please.
What are you talking about?
That's pretty bigoted because you think all Asian people look alike. You need to get over yourself.
No, no. It was some article that I read. It said that was Short Round, and so I could be very wrong. But like I said, if that isn't him, then sorry. But if that is him, I just want to see him in the next Indiana Jones film, at least as a cameo. I'd be down with that.
I don't even know what to say to you sometimes, because of like you are one of those people that will see something on the internet and believe it to be true. Just
like I said, I just saw it and they said that
it is not true, Masioka. I just researched, as you're spewing your hate and vitriol. He was not Short Round, just to be clear. Yeah,
or maybe it was Goonies or something. I don't remember, but
he was in Goonies. That's true.
That's Goonies. Okay, maybe it was Goonies then. Maybe,
and that's Ki Hui Kwan. I apologize probably for butchering the name, but no, that is not the same actor. So, yeah.
So my bad. Anyways, but what I said, like, my bad. But like, I would love to see Short Round, because Short Round was one of my favorite characters.
Let's move on.
Although he's only in one film.
We got our as I mentioned before, it was Star Wars Celebration Week down in Anaheim. Huge announcements. We got a trailer for the upcoming series Andor, which takes place pre Episode 4.
Actually, it was it said I thought it said it was pre Rogue One.
I was going to say that
Oh,
next.
okay.
Uh, Not everyone has watched Rogue One. Some people are only
What?
only right, which to me is one of the best Star Wars films.
Rogue One is you could watch that as a standalone, and it's amazing.
It is to me to date the best non Skywalker chapter Star Wars film.
Yeah, yeah.
Which obviously there's not a lot to compare to, but
No, I mean
yeah.
you pretty much got that in like Solo.
Well, I
But
think we've talked about it before that to me that film is better than many of the episodes of the
yeah,
Skywalker saga.
yeah. No, I think we did talk about that when we were ranking the films. We basically said this is not including anything outside of the trilogies that we have,
Yeah.
because we both agreed that like Rogue One is an amazing film. And actually, Rogue One, I don't know. Do you guys have D boxes up there?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I saw Rogue One in D box in Union City, and that was even a more crazy experience.
So to be clear, Andor, from my understanding, is basically a direct prequel to
Rogue One.
Rogue One, and
Yeah.
is kind of almost an impetus or help of setting up Rogue One. And so definitely looks the trailer looks good, looks compelling. I love seeing stuff from that time period between 3 and 4 because there is so much stuff that we don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
They throw, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm just happy that they are throwing some big money behind these things.
yeah, absolutely. So did you see this trailer?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I was like, pretty much like as soon as I was like, I remember hearing about it. I remember when we were going through like stuff that was coming out. I remember that was on there, and I was like, "What is this?" And then like seeing that trailer was like, "I'm in."
Diego Luna making a return?
I was like, "I'm in." Regardless, it doesn't matter. I'm just I like it. I'm in.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's not even that I know a whole lot about it. It's just that you tell me it's a prequel. You tell me it's a prequel to Rogue One, and okay, I'm already down. And then you're telling me that it's kind of just gonna kind of fill in some of those holes. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah, I agree. Also announced at Star Wars Celebration, Star Wars Tales of the Jedi.
We don't have a trailer for this yet.
There's no trailer. It's just an announcement. It is being it is created by Dave Filoni, who is really the guy that um, is the gold mine for Star Wars. Uh, I will tell you the premise, which is super cool to me. So each episode of Tales of the Jedi is going to tell a short story featuring Jedi from the Star Wars prequel trilogy area.
Okay.
The 6 episodes are split into 2 paths. The first following Ahsoka Tano across various points in her life.
Wait, are these animated or are these live action?
It's animated.
Okay.
And the other is going to depict a young Count Dooku before his fall to the dark side.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And
Okay.
Brian, who was actually at Celebration Week, he attended the Tales panel, and he said that it looks amazing. So, was there any actual footage? I know that I saw some stills of a young Ahsoka, but I haven't been able to find any official
Are
footage
we talking
yet.
about Ahsoka before Clone Wars Ahsoka?
Well, it says it's going to take place in different time periods.
Okay.
They showed the first episode.
Yikes.
Oh wow.
Yikes.
Ah, man. I guess that's what the big bucks are for when you go to those things.
Yeah.
Baby Ahsoka.
Okay.
So, yeah, I I'm not a huge fan of the animated Star Wars stuff outside of Clone Wars, and I
Are you talking
I
about that original animated Clone Wars? Is that what
No.
you're talking about? You weren't a fan of?
No, I liked Clone Wars, but aside from that, I haven't liked much of the animated stuff. So,
You're talking about the stuff that came out. I watched what was that one called that uh
Rebels,
no, I actually
Rebellion.
I liked Rebels. I Rebellion, I watched a few episodes of. It was okay. I'm talking about the one that came out on Disney Plus.
Visions.
Visions. I actually kind of like those. I like the different whatchamacallits.
Brian asked, "Did you watch the Bad Batch?" And yes, I did watch Bad Batch season 1, and we got the announcement for season
Season
2.
2. Yeah, I'm excited about that. But yeah, no, I'm saying like the Vision stuff I liked because it was the different styles I enjoyed.
Yeah, and Visions as well is coming back for a second season.
Oh, I did not know about that.
Yeah, I watched it. I just felt like it was fine. I I have a hard time when it's kind of one-off stuff with Star Wars.
Yeah, I
Um,
understand that, but like I
I
said, I enjoyed the stories that they had. I like the different. I like. I've more recently gotten into like that anime uh, artist style. So that's kind of. I think that's what I was digging more. I enjoyed some of the stories. Some of them were okay. Some of them were really good. Some of them were just like I don't even know why this was made. But overall, as an overall collection, I give it a I give it a solid B.
well, since we've got Brian here, I'm hoping he can address this next one a little bit to give us more insight because I don't know a whole lot about this one. I'll give you what I know, and that is Skeleton Crew.
Jude Law.
Yes, you referenced him earlier. So what we know, or what is officially known so far, Star Wars Skeleton Crew, an original series starring Jude Law. Its executive producer John Watts,
Yeah.
Christopher Ford, John Favreau, and Dave Filoni. And
John
it's going to
Favreau's on all these, bro.
of course. And it'll be streaming in 23. So the Skeleton Crew is set in the New Republic era, which is after the events of Return of the Jedi,
Okay.
and around the same timeline as The Mandalorian.
Okay.
So it
Okay.
evidently
So it's
follows a
before it's before the first order.
yeah.
Okay.
So it follows a group of kids about 10 years old who get lost in the Star Wars universe and are trying to find their way home. That's about all we have. Um,
Is this
and
could this I mean it oh I was thinking c- that was no that was after first order due to the fact that I was thinking those kids from that were at that in that racetrack or whatever.
maybe, but yeah, I think you're right. I
But
think that's
that's
later.
that's later. So that's like that was I think that was that the second film? And then is that Last Jedi?
Yeah, The Force
Okay.
Awakens, The Last Jedi. Yes.
Yeah.
Um, so I assume there probably will be some tie-in to the Mandoverse, but I guess we will have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Um, I like Jude Law. I don't like the idea of a group of 10-year-olds. Um, that
Hey,
doesn't appeal
listen,
to me.
as long as they're better than or as yeah, Hayden Christensen. I'm good.
All
Not
right.
Was that his name?
No, Hayden
No,
Christensen
Hayden
was
Christensen was yeah, Anakin. I'm sorry. Jake Lloyd.
yes, which
Yeah,
was also Anakin, but
right, but the horrible version.
episode 1, yes.
Yeah. Ugh.
Also, of course, we have season 3 of The Mandalorian starting in February. So long from now.
Come on, bruh.
Ah, and I love this image because you've got Grogu back alongside with him. Um, and I have read that season 4 is already in development. So
I'm just waiting for that. I'm just waiting for that little bit of music that we get. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm just waiting for that. I was trying to try and do it, but I was like, it's not going to come out right. So yes, but Brian is correct when we talking about Skeleton Crew, group of 10-year-olds. It did work for Stranger Things, so I will give him that.
okay, this is Star Wars, so I don't know if that's
Sci-fi. I mean, come on.
really you're gonna compare Stranger Things to Star Wars.
I'm saying it's sci-fi, but we don't even know really anything about this. So I mean, like, if they're fighting some kind of crazy monster, then I'm gonna be like, yo, that's just Stranger Things. But
So
I
Back to
would
the Future is sci-fi. You're going to compare that to Star Wars? Or two
Back
completely
to
different things?
Back to the Future might be one of the greatest trilogies of all time.
Okay,
Actually,
trilogy.
it's
Ah, mm. We'll discuss that later.
okay.
Let's talk about something still in the Star Wars universe.
All right.
Uh, Episodes 1 and 2 of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes.
Man, I got to tell you, episode 1 to me was amazing. It felt so good to be in this time frame to catch up with Obi. Um,
Before you continue, can we just talk about the entire recap?
oh man, yes, that was surprising. I was not expecting that at all. The
I was like, oh, okay.
And
I
it looks
truly
so clean. Like
super clean.
I have not watched the Star Wars films on Disney Plus, and so it makes me now want to go watch the all of them on Disney Plus to like actually see, does it really look that clean?
They 4K'd them.
I guess so.
That's what
Because
they said. They 4K'd them. So most recently. So yeah. Oh, and they did that and also for the Netflix Marvel series that they brought over. They 4K'd those too. So yeah, I was like, I just turned it on. You know, I saw it was up, so I was like, yo, let me get these 2 episodes out the way. And I turned it on, and I was like, oh, and I was like, yes, this is absolutely what was needed. It was absolutely what was needed.
I will say I'm not a fan of little Leia.
She is a little irritating.
Yeah. She's not as irritating as Christopher Lloyd, or I mean Jake
Jake
Lloyd.
Lloyd.
But Harding. But yeah, I loved the first episode so much. I got to say that the second episode to me was a little bit of a letdown after the first episode.
I was okay with it. I mean,
It was good. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, okay.
But I felt like
She asked too many questions and she ran a lot.
the whole point to me of the second episode was purely to get to the last 5 minutes of the episode for Obi to find out Anakin's still alive.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the rest of the episode, I really didn't care.
I was okay with it. I just, the whole thing with her, like, just like, shh. Sometimes you don't need to ask so many questions.
Tell me what you think about the Inquisitors.
Loved them. Absolutely loved them. They look like the Inquisitors that I was expecting to see.
Yeah, I love
live action versions of what I saw in Rebels.
I love the Inquisitors. I did not love in episode 2 that chase scene as she's running across the rooftop parkouring. I really didn't like that.
Yeah, that was a little irritating, but I was like, I get it. I'm not a huge fan of her. Maybe because she's the villain of this thing, but I'm not a huge fan of her. Just I don't know. I really don't know why. I think it's just because she's playing on a different, and then maybe it's just because I'm not with it just yet, but maybe because it looks like everybody else is playing checkers and she's playing chess. Like she seems to be,
I think she might be. I think, as we know in the Sith world, there's always a master and an apprentice, but it seems like every apprentice always has an apprentice, if you will.
Right.
I'm wondering if Anakin, or Darth Vader now, has taken her as his new apprentice without letting anyone else know.
Well, then that would, unless so is that, what was that the game the game that Darth Vader had an apprentice, or was getting an apprentice? I can't remember the name of that game.
Are you talking about The Force Unleashed?
Yeah.
And I don't remember exactly where in the timeline that takes place, nor do I remember if it's officially canon.
That's what I'm saying. If that's not officially canon, then okay. But at the same time, I mean, like, yeah, this is one of those things where I'm just like, yo, like, I'm down. I'm so down with it. She just like she's on a whole different level, because like you know, like, well, you have the Grand Inquisitor, which, you know, ends up happening to him if you watched it, uh,
Well,
but it,
I
and
don't
then
think he's
it's,
gone yet.
no, and I don't think he is either, because I mean, like I said, like there's
That
that.
would kill some of the rebels. Yeah,
Exactly. So that's what I'm talking about. So that's why I didn't really want to get into it. But what I'm saying is that I think uh with with everything that she's doing, you know, I think it's there's another thing at play here, and I'm gonna just chill and watch it play out.
yeah. Episode 3 released today. Unfortunately, I haven't had
Which
the opportunity to watch it. But what
I was
happened?
so confused.
2 on Friday.
Yeah. And I thought they were gonna be released on Fridays, and
Yeah,
then
I
you
thought it was
tell me.
Marvel on Wednesdays and Star Wars on Fridays.
Yeah, and that's what I was prepared for, because I was like, "Oh, Fridays." And then like I saw today like, "Oh, new episode." And I was like, "Wait, what?" And so like I was trying to watch it before we came on, and I got through a little bit of it. So far so good. Um
Don't tell me anything.
no, I won't, but I'm just saying, like, I think uh I'm gonna probably have to start it over again so I can just watch it all the way through, because I paused it and everything else. But you know, I've been excited, especially when I heard that they were bringing back Ewan McGregor and everything else. I was super excited, and like I'm just, so far so good. I'm satisfied with this right now.
Yeah, I I agree. I'm super excited for it. Um,
Oh, never mind. Never mind.
okay.
Never mind.
And sticking with sci-fi for a minute, I don't have a graphic for it, but tomorrow, season 3 of the Orville drops. So keep that in
Oh,
mind.
okay. I need to
If
go
you
put that
haven't
on.
if
I
you
need to go
haven't
put that
gone
on
back
mine.
and rewatched, you need to do that.
Yeah, I need to do that. But I
Especially
need to
since
go.
you
I need
didn't
to make
remember how season 2 ended.
right. I need to make sure I put that on my Hulu, so I make sure I get that.
Yes, and also switching gears a little bit to the video game world, but still sticking with a sci-fi kind of theme. New trailer drop for Destroy All Humans 2
Uh,
Reprobed.
uh, uh,
I
I
Did you ever play this game series?
I think I don't think I didn't play an entire game. I think I might have played like a little bit of it I think I maybe played about 15-20 minutes of a game one time.
It's just really ridiculous.
It's absolutely ridiculous, but
I played the first one start to finish. There was a Destroy All Humans 2 back in the day. And
yeah,
I believe this is a new story, but they're calling it 2. So I assume there's some tie-in to the original part 2.
right.
Um, but the trailer is of course hilarious, and um, I think I'm gonna have to play it. Just I'm not gonna buy it when it comes out. I'm gonna wait till it gets on the cheap,
Hmm.
but or even free, like with Games of Gold or something on Xbox.
Right.
But I I think this is gonna be a fun one and some nostalgia, which of course I always enjoy.
Oh, um, sorry. I just thought about this. Have you heard of? I believe it's called Prey.
The video game
No,
Prey.
no, 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 no. This is actually a movie that's supposed to be coming out.
Uh, no, is it have anything to do with Predator?
Yeah,
How did I guess that?
yeah. Actually, apparently, it's Predator 300 years before, like, so it's like an Apache warrior or something like that. She's on her own out there, and she's like one of the first ones to deal with a predator. Their first, like
Interesting.
one of their first visits to Earth.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge Predator fan. I
No,
enjoyed the
me neither.
first
But
one. I even enjoyed the second one to an extent. But I feel like just about anything after that was
after that, yeah,
just
it's kind of whack. But
yeah.
like Aliens versus Predator, which I thought was going to be so much better than it was. Like
I
I was
remember
like,
seeing that in the
ugh.
theater and it was bunk.
I was like, oh, come on, this is boo boo. But
Yeah.
no, I'm actually, I didn't, I saw a little, I saw a poster for it online, and I was like, yo, that looks, this could be crazy. So I'm interested interested to see that one.
Well, you watch it, you let me know how it is,
I
and when it
sure will.
comes to Hulu, because it looks like it's 20th century, maybe I'll give it a watch then.
Yeah.
Um, Probably not before then, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Back to what we were talking about.
That's all right. We've got one more game to talk about. And guess what? Back in the Star Wars universe,
Yes.
trailer dropped Star Wars Jedi Survivor. And if I remember correctly, you did not play the original Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order,
No.
which
So I'm gonna have to play it in order
and
to
you
play this
you
game.
said you have it, right?
No, 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 no. I don't have it. I think it's on. I want to say it's on my wish list on on PlayStation. I don't because I do I have it? I'll double check. I don't think I have it though. I'm
Either
pretty sure I
way,
don't have
you
it.
need to get it and you need to play through it. And I know it
Yeah,
takes you like 10 times longer to play through a game than it does normal people.
right.
So
But I
you
don't because I don't play every day. I play like I play an hour here, an hour there. I don't ever really play through like some people can.
I don't know what to tell you. If you enjoy something, why not do it to the fullest, right?
Well, that's what I mean. I just have to, I just I don't know. Maybe it's just because I don't like sitting there. Just I'll sit there for a few hours when, especially on days off. I will play a few hours a day sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. So
But yeah, this trailer, it doesn't show any gameplay. It just kind of
mm-mm.
gives us a really brief reminder of the first game, being on the ship, his ship from the first game, uh, Cal Kestis, and uh, kind of walking through the ship or panning through the ship, and then we're on a planet, see somebody in basically a giant test tube, and who is it? There's been a lot of rumors already on the internet about who it is. I don't know. I don't care. I loved the first one so much. It was hands down the best Star Wars game to date. Um, so it
Doesn't
actually,
matter who it is.
yeah, I'm super excited to get to play it. I will likely go back and replay Fallen Order before this releases, just because it was such a great game, and I want to make sure I'm like fully up to date and fresh on everything. So, uh,
Feel it.
hey,
Feel it.
if you want to get the game and you want to start playing through it again, I'm happy to. We could even do a separate podcast on playing through it before this one releases because it was such a fun one. So it'd be interesting to hear your perspective being new to the game, me having played it. So maybe we could do something like that.
Maybe if yeah. Let me. I gotta. I have to see how much it is right now.
I will tell you, I am currently replaying through Red Dead Redemption 2. I had already played it and beaten it and everything, but I decided it's a very, this might sound somewhat sadistic or something, but it's a very relaxing game to play, in the turn of the century, early 1900s in the West. You're playing basically an outlaw, going from town to town, robbing, stealing, cheating, and it's relaxing. I come home from work and I've got
Mhm.
about an hour between when I get home and when I need to start getting dinner ready. And it is relaxing for me to sit down after work and play for a little while, and kind of escape a little bit.
Bruh, this is why, like, when they try and talk about, violent video games, bruh, violent video games is the reason I didn't lose my mind. Like, literally, if I had a crappy day, like, I would jump on Assassin's Creed and pretty much I'm killing everybody. And not okay, not everybody, all the guards. Like, I would just like
Well,
even
yeah,
if
you didn't want to go around killing randos because then you get
that
these
would
synchros eyes.
yeah, but at the same time, like, bro, it was just like I can't. It's like people would you know piss me off all day, and then you know what? I come home and I'm just like, yeah, 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 yeah. I can't, like I'm not gonna do that in real life. So therefore, it was just like, I'm good now. So yeah,
Yeah.
for me, like, yeah, definitely. There's some games that it's just like, okay, let me just get some of my aggression out, and this is a healthier way of doing it.
Agreed. Me too. When I think back to a long time ago, my Dave and Buster days, getting off of work and going over to my buddy's house and playing Grand Theft Auto 3, climbing up to the top of a parking structure with a sniper and just plucking people off. Um,
No
I
reason
I
at all.
I don't think that I have some mental issue just because I was playing a video game. Nor do I think that me playing that video game has caused me to be deranged or something.
No.
Um, some people are just off. You
Yeah.
know,
It was for some people, it's literally just a way to
relax.
get that, and because you can't it look, I would rather you do that in a video game than lose your mind and do it in real life. You know, like let's straight up
Well,
point.
I think you got to be careful there because that makes it sound like it's one or the other. Like
Oh no, no. Oh yeah, yeah. Let me. Yeah, but I'd much rather somebody if they're if somebody like I said, when I had a bad day, I'd throw on. I don't even remember what Assassin's Creed it was, but you know what? It was a way for me to get some of that anger out, and I got it in a game. Not I didn't lash out at people. I didn't lash out, on animals or anything like that. I just lashed out on these non-playable characters in in a video game.
All right, I think we should move on from this just because.
We're going down a weird road.
Yeah, you are. But I don't have any more content. Was there? What's on your mind? What's going on? You got anything you want to talk about? Discuss?
Oh, hey, so check this out. The other day, when I was at work, this guy comes through my line, and I look at his ID, and I was like, "Oh, wait, is your name really Emmett Brown?" This guy's actual name was Emmett Brown, and get this, I don't know, I don't know if it's true because it wasn't on the ID or anything, but he said he was actually a doctor. So he was actually Dr. Emmett Brown. And it was like, and he was way older. So it wasn't like, oh, he had the last name of Brown and his parents named him that after the movie came out. But it was like, he was, I was like, that is dope. I love it.
Yeah, I am concerned that you checked the person's ID and had to ask them if that was their real name.
No, it wasn't like I was like, because like when you see there's certain names when you see them, you're like, yo, like what? Like this is really your name? So like I met a guy when I used to work at Sharper Image. His name was actually Adam Sandler. And I was like, what? Again, like he was also at that point in time, he was older, so it wasn't like his last name was Sandler and his parents named him Adam to do that. But yeah, no, it was just like, that's awesome. It wasn't like when I was asking, is that your real name? I was like, you seriously? This is awesome. Like that's your name.
Yeah. Well, on that note, one last thing I wanted to call out. I mentioned Dave and Buster's just a moment ago. This Friday, in just 2 days, they are having a 10th anniversary D&B reunion. The Dave and Buster's in Milpitas opened 10 years ago.
Wow.
And
that's it?
Yeah, right?
Jeez. That seems only 10 years ago?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I lied. 20 years ago.
Oh, I was about to say, like, that's impossible.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense because I started there in 2003. So
yeah, I was about to say
yes, no, it is the 20-year anniversary.
Okay.
So there's a huge get together happening with people from the time it opened till I assume people working there today. And unfortunately, cool. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to make it. I'm torn because there are some people that I would love to see and catch up with, but out of the other side of my mouth, I haven't seen most of these people or even spoken with them in any way, shape, or form in 10 plus, 15 plus years.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, would I be going to talk to these people, or would I just be going for some kind of self-indulgence? And so,
I mean, I think it'd be a little bit of both, like just to go to just kind of experience it, and because you did work there, and then if you some of these people you happen to see, and you're like, oh man, how's it going? Like, I know we haven't talked, but it's good to see you type deal.
Well, and I mean, part of the flip side, to be honest, is there are people that are going that I
That you don't want
really
to
have
see.
no interest in
Yeah,
seeing.
of course. I mean, that's
Uh,
that's like class reunions and everything else. So I mean,
yeah, well, and my class, we're the ones that buck the trend. We didn't have a 10-year, 5-year. I don't even think we had a 20-year.
our 20 my class is 20-year. We had started planning, but again, COVID happened, so that kind of threw that out the window. So
Yeah, I like I said, I think for me, I originally when it first got announced, I was like, oh man, this sounds like it could be cool. It'd be cool to see these people and catch up. And to be honest, at the time, the one person that I was like, I really want to go and get caught up with was Tyrus.
yeah,
Uh, and because at that point we hadn't reacquainted and gotten caught up, but we have since then. And so it's kind of like, well, while I'd like to see him, uh, the one thing that was my main draw to potentially go, don't feel like I need to. And he's actually coming up here so that we can do a Fat and Black with Tyrus up here. He's going to be here in July, so it was
nice.
even more like I don't need to go down.
Yeah, yeah,
I
I'm
don't I
good.
don't I don't need to go down to the Dave and Buster's reunion. I'm going to see Tyrus next month, which was my main motivator, and
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 he's back.
and Andy is back. And well, and like I said, I mean, there as the group started filling out and more people were saying if they were going or not, I started seeing more and more names of people where I was like, uh,
Yeah, don't yeah,
drama, drama.
don't
I don't need
don't
that in
need
my
to see.
life.
Yeah, don't need to see them again.
So I ultimately, unfortunately, I am not going to make it, but I hope that for those of you that I like, I hope you have a great time.
Yeah,
I hope it is a lot of fun. I do need to get back there at some point. I haven't been to that place in over a decade. Um,
I haven't been to the one in Milpitas in. I mean, well, of course, I've been out of California for a number of years, but I think the last time I went was for we had an event there, playing games and stuff. But yeah, I it's definitely I mean, that one is the newest. Some of the newer ones they've opened are definitely different.
yeah, with
Definitely
bowling
different.
alleys and
No, like, well, they have one out here in Summerlin, and it's just like as soon as you walk in, there's just a counter. Behind that, there's like the arcade kind of spreads out, and then like the dining area. I mean, it's pretty much just like it's like, oh yeah, go ahead and find a table. Like, if it's open, it's not. There's no real host or anything like that. It's just like, oh yeah, here, go ahead, grab a table wherever you want, like, type deal. I was like, oh, okay.
yeah, and I know that the Milpitas location has remodeled many times since I worked there. Tyrus even says it looks completely different, that I
Oh,
wouldn't recognize it. Um, and that's a double-edged blade. I mean, you've got to update, but uh, I kind of wonder if Dave and Buster walked in today, would they be happy with what they were seeing? Because I worked there at a time when I actually got to see those guys. You know what I mean?
oh,
I was there, back in the heyday before
are
they
they
went.
still are they still alive?
No, no.
Oh, okay.
Uh, yeah, I think they both have passed now. But I was there when it was still a private company before they tried to go public. Then they went public, and a lot of things changed then, and that didn't work. And then they went back to private.
That's
Um,
that's the problem I've noticed when some of these corporations decide to go public, especially like that's what when Red Robin decided to go public, it changed everything, and it just wasn't the same anymore.
yeah, exactly.
There's a
Uh,
feel there's a feel when it's private, and there's because you can do things the way you want to do them. You don't have to answer to anybody. You don't have to answer to you just have standards that you want across the board. And then once you decide to go public, then there's a whole lot more chefs in the kitchen, and they're more about this instead of the actual experience that people receive.
Well, and when you think about it, as Tyrus references store number 24, when the store in Milpitas opened, it was only the 24th location.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, so things were a lot different back then.
Yeah.
compared to today where I mean, when I left Dave and Buster's, I was there for a little over 5 years. When I left there,
They were
they
under 100 stores, huh?
they were still under 100, but they had more than doubled in size during my 5 years there, which is huge growth when you think about it,
Right,
especially for a facility that at the time cost anywhere between 5 to 10 million to make,
right.
where
So you're looking at
today probably would cost anywhere between
more,
15 to 30.
right? That's probably why the like the one that I'm talking about is it like I think because I have what Milpitas was in my brain, and so when I see like the one out here, it's like, oh, this is actually really it's tiny in comparison. It feels.
Yeah, and Tyrus even says Dave and Buster would not be happy at all. All the folklore is gone. It's nowhere near crowded like when we were there. Not even close to capacity. One of the coolest things that I miss about the Dave and Buster's, and they changed it not long after I left there. There used to be in the front foyer of every Dave and Buster's there was a blimp. And most people don't know this, but there was a blimp because they don't open a store; they launch a store. You launch a blimp, right? And inside the blimp basket was the business cards of all of the opening managers of that facility.
Huh.
To me, that was just a cool, as Tyrus mentions, a folklore thing. Additionally, when Tyrus and I worked there, and Tyrus is one of the guys who trained me as a captain way back in the day when they had captains. There the viewpoint bar or the square bar in the front of the building. The dimensions were 21 foot by 21 foot because, correct me if I'm wrong here, Dave, Tyrus, but I believe Dave was a blackjack dealer, and so it's 21 feet, right? Um, we had to know the measurements of the billiards tables, the size of the ball, that they were, with inlaid pearl, markers. Like there was all of these specifics that at a point, the captains were actually required to wear Tabasco branded ties that actually had little Tabasco bottles on them. Like that was an actual requirement for the position.
Wow.
So it was just all of these little things that as time went on, especially when they went public, they just started changing to lose a lot of that culture. Um,
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what ends up happening. Like that's when Red Robin, like we lost that whole family feel. We lost the fun of being there. Like and so like when I left, it was like everything was changing, and I was like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay to get out.
yeah, when I left Dave and Buster's, I I was at a point in my career where I was ready to take the next step into management leadership and was kind of being stifled.
Yeah.
Um, and so it, and the company was changing and kind of doing things that I was having a hard time with accepting. And so it made it that much easier for me to walk away.
Yeah.
Um, but I'll tell you, still to this day, at least once a month or so, I have a dream about that place. I don't ever dream about Red Robin. I don't ever dream about other places I've worked or spent long periods of time at. But I still dream about Dave and Buster's to this day. Where the most recent one was, I went back for a visit and there were people working there that I worked with when I was there, and I'm like catching up with them, and it's weird that a place I was at for not a huge period of time in my life, when I look at it now today, still had such an impact that it affects me today.
Yeah. Wait, you actually had to wait, you actually had to play? You could teach and play?
Yeah,
That's kind of
so
cool.
so there, one of the things Tyrus left off there when he mentions backgammon is a game that I love to this day, Pente, which most people have no idea what that is.
I used to play
But
Pente. I used to
yeah,
like Pente.
Pente is tons of fun, and we had and it got put out at a certain time of day. I can't remember the time, Tyrus. Was it 1 p.m. or 3 p.m.? We would put out Pente and backgammon in this particular area of the bar for people if they wanted to come in and play. And yeah, you had to learn how to play it. It was actually a part of the training, so that if somebody came in and said, "What is this?" you could sit down with them and teach them.
Oh, that's cool. That'd been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a different time.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been a long one. It is
Oh,
9:30 in the Pacific.
sheesh. Yeah,
I,
let's
I am tired. Let's shut this thing down.
shut them down. All right, man.
I appreciate y'all joining us. Sorry we went on a long, almost half-hour tirade there for the last little bit. But hope you enjoyed the show. We will be back, of course, in about a week with some live, fresh, new content. And keep your ears out, keep your ears to the ground for some new stuff coming from Murphy's Inc. soon.
Yeah, and oh yeah, we finished that up, or at least my part up last night, so that was cool. So yeah, definitely look for Murphy's Inc. Make sure you check us out we're on Amazon now, we're on Apple, every place you can pretty much get a podcast, we're pretty much there now. So make sure you check us out there. And
Video, you can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter.
Yep, we got a lot of stuff coming. So make sure you follow us, and we will check y'all next time.